Okay, great. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to share my screen, and then I'll let the students answer some of the questions that we have here. I just want to say one more thing about our department. Just to reiterate that we do have the two majors, and really it gives students a wide array of possibilities. Okay, usually when the iSTEM major is the second major for many of the students in the School of Education, whether you're elementary, deaf and hard of hearing, urban education, special education. Um, you can choose to have a second major, and many students choose the iSTEM major. And what that does, it really prepares you to teach elementary and middle school if you choose to get a science and math certification. And we've really worked on our schedule, so it makes it possible for you to do that without really taking many extra courses. Okay, so it's incorporated into the structure of the program. The second major is the technology and engineering education major, and this gives students prepares them to teach K through 12 in technology and education. Okay, so you get certified to teach K through 12, and you go really deep into some of the technology and engineering courses. Okay. Um, Many of the iSTEM majors can also get a technology specialization, and that sort of extends the capability for them to teach all the way through high school as well. So you could get certifications K through 12. Okay. So let's start with some of the questions that were posted on the registration forum, and then we'll go over some of the questions that you might have that we don't cover. Um, so first, here is, I want some of the students here to tell me a little more about your experiences as students in the department. Um, and just before you do that, here I have a couple pictures of some of our classrooms, students working on a battleship game, and then on the other one is a student preparing their lesson on a solar car, and she's doing the lesson in front of other students. Okay. So go ahead, tell us, Jess, if you'd like to start, tell us a little more about your experience as a student in the department.
Sure. So, one of the things that I love the most about this department is how connected we all are because the department only has those two majors in it. Everybody kind of knows everybody. You don't feel like you're a number when you're in the classes. All the professors know your name, they get to know you throughout the semester, and it's just really great to make those connections with your peers and your professors. It's like a little family.
Okay. Okay. Anybody else?
I also think it lends itself, being that smaller department, to more opportunities inside our department. And, when you're in a department very large, your professors don't know you, like Jess said, but with our department, our professors know us on a name-to-name basis. They know a lot about us. They know, what we're into, what we're doing, and it actually leads for a better class experience, in my opinion, that, they tailor everything to us and what we need.
And the neat thing is you'll have these professors for the whole 4 years. So it's not like you just meet a professor once and you never have them again. You keep that relationship with them throughout the whole 4 years.
Cool. Great. Great. Um, Second question. Let's see if I can go here. Okay. So somebody asked, are there any particular classes that prepare me to teach elementary or middle school? And so, yeah, so the answer is there are our courses in the major are divided up into the liberal learning requirements that every student at TCNJ has to take. This gives you the breadth of learning about global perspectives, issues of race and ethnicity, and issues with gender, and also traditional courses like calculus and physics and science. Um, there's also a core of content area courses. These are more of your technical courses. The iSTEM students take a series of science and math courses, and then go into their specialization. The tech ed students, they concentrate on technology and engineering courses that really give them that depth into that area. And both majors also have a series of educational courses, or your pedagogy courses, which are down here in the bluish, purplish area down here. And that's where you learn how to teach, you learn different strategies, and you'll also be doing your student teaching. So maybe some of you guys can tell us a little more about that.
Sure. So, like Dr. Figueroa mentioned, the yellow and orange courses are courses that our department offers, while the purple ones are from the School of Ed. And that's the uniqueness of this major, because the purple courses, they teach you how to teach regular elementary curriculum, but the yellow courses, they teach you how to teach STEM curriculum, and you have that advantage, and you also advantage and knowledge when you go into the classroom, because when you go these college classes, they not only teach you the content, the STEM content, but they teach you how can you apply this upper level thinking content to a second grader, or to a first grader, or to a kindergartner, if Jen wants to add anything to that.
I think you did a great job explaining that. I think just explaining like what the major is, like we are a part of the education building as well as the engineering building. So like it's a double major, and it's not scary at all. Like all of your courses, like schedule wise, it'll be fine. Like it's never, too much to handle. Like don't think, oh, double major, like holy cow. We call it like a dual major. So we all picked STEM. Well, Isha and I picked STEM. Like the other options are like history or English or something like that. So just so you understand like what this major is.
Okay. Great, thank you guys. So we've been talking a little bit about the specializations, and I kind of put this info sheet here, but Jen, why don't you continue what you were describing? Can you describe some of the specializations and how you ended up choosing yours?
Yeah. So these specializations, Isha and I are both technology, but you could also pick the M for math, and you could also pick the S for science, where you'd like either pick biology, chemistry, or physics. So the interesting part with this is, say, you were thinking, oh, I'm really good at math. Well, that's great. Like take 4 math courses, like, and you can get that specialization. So I picked technology because I thought I was going to pick math, but then once I took the technology courses in the beginning, my first 2 years, because you have the first until you're a sophomore, correct me if I'm wrong, Dr. Figueroa, but
That's right.
to pick the specialization. So you get to kind of dabble in the different courses and subjects. So once I was in a few STEM courses, I was like, you know what, this is great. This is what I want to do. And with that, like I got to keep those professors that I was with from day one. So where if you pick mathematics or like one of the sciences, you'll be in a different building, which is super cool too, a great opportunity to meet new people. But I just liked the tightness of the STEM department.
Isha, how did you pick the technology specialization?
So, similar to Jen, I took a lot of technology, like at least 2 technology courses my freshman and sophomore year. And when you're an iSTEM major, you have like these 4 required iSTEM courses, regardless of what specialization you take. And one of those classes was with Dr. Figueroa. It was an engineering math class. And it was kind of like a little glimpse of what the technology specialization was like. So I took another technology class my sophomore spring, and I ended up signing up for it because it was so different than, because like for math, bio, chem, and physics, I did that in high school. But for tech, it was like when I took technology courses, it was just a different, field that I've never, ever witnessed or anything. And it was kind of interesting to just delve into that right away.
Can I add something too? If you were thinking physics, biology, chemistry, awesome. And just know that you will get those STEM courses just for a little bit then. So if your passion is biology, then picking STEM is great because, yeah, you get biology, but you also get those few STEM courses to broaden your horizons.
Okay, great. Yeah, and over the years, I've noticed the technology and math tend to be the most popular. And then and then biology and chemistry, physics. Um, those are great, just like what Jen said. You get a lot of lab experiences. You get that material that you're going to need to teach the life science and the physical science and all those courses that you will teach in a K through 12 environment. Let's go on. Okay, so one student was asking about the courses, like how difficult are the STEM courses? Um, and here I have a couple pictures of some work that students have done, and you know, one of them on the right is some forces to understand how much force a beam has before it breaks. And then at the bottom is a project that a student made, and it was to describe the biomimicry um, of a honeycomb and how that can be used to make structures, physical structures. And they did a great job 3D printing and doing some graphic art. This was a upper level student. But I just took these two pictures because it shows that our courses, one, they're very hands-on, but at the same time, we also go over a lot of the engineering material and really understanding those physical forces and all that. So it's a good combination and really a lot of applied knowledge. Would anybody like to take that question? How difficult are the STEM courses?
I'll take that one. I don't think difficult is the right word, but the end result of every tech class is always a hands-on project, or always a model, or displaying what you learn through that content area, which I think is kind of neat. And that's, you know, personally, I'm a very visual person, and that's how I learn best. And that's kind of why I fit in our tech ed program a little bit, because I'm always making something with my hands. I'm always visually doing something. So, you know, for example, one class we could 3D print a model. For another class, you build, you know, an end table or something. But we learn the content, but we display it in a different way than a written exam or like a written form.
Just to add to that, I like to make the comparison to high school. You know, these classes, these STEM courses, they are like leveled up 100 for like mainly freshmen and 400 for mainly seniors. So it's like, you know, and like you're not expected to know calculus before you learn algebra. It's like these STEM courses, they prepare you for the next level. And sometimes you might take a 300 level course before a 200 level course, but it's okay because the professors in the classroom itself, they do, what's it called? Not modify, but like make sure that what they're teaching is centered towards what the students need to know. So it like you'll be prepared. So it's not gonna be just thrown into your face. They're like they'll go step by step.
I think that also really ties into the way Isha was saying, since we are a smaller group, that our professors work with us. And let's say we come into a class and some of us really don't understand, you know, electronics. They'll take that first couple of weeks and try to explain the base of us. So therefore we have a building block for the rest of that class.
Okay, cool. I will give an exam from time to time now. Don't get the wrong idea. But I think Chris is right, though. We somehow, a lot of our courses, we try to balance how much of the written exam and assessments, and then we also try to do a lot of group work and design projects. So it's all in there. Okay, somebody asked about research and internship opportunities. Great question, and I'll plug in the Muse program at TCNJ, embedded into the structure of the semester during the summer. Every summer, many of the faculty on campus will stay on campus and do a research project. And we're doing research all year round, but during the summer, we really get that dedicated time to work with a student or two or three students and move that research forward. So students work with a professor for 8 weeks, and they get to live on campus and they get a stipend. It's a good opportunity, which usually results in either doing a presentation, a poster presentation where you share your work to the campus, and many times some students will get to go to a conference either at the national level or international level. Um, Keith here in this picture at the bottom right, he actually got to go to Germany to present his research last year, and that was a good experience for him. And we do have great tools on campus. Here we have a student working on the electron microscope, and she was looking at taking pictures of a small surface to see what it looks like at that level. Jess, I know you were going to tell us about your research experience.
Yeah, so I've actually been doing research for my sociology minor with Dr. Bates in the Department of Sociology. I actually met her through one of my classes, and we had similar interests, so we decided to collaborate on this project. So what I'm currently doing research on is how to engage students better in STEM classes, whether they are or are not STEM majors. So we're currently looking at how to engage students through community service projects, where a computer science class is paired up with a humanities class like a women and gender studies or a journalism class, and how to keep both classes of students engaged in the STEM content and the community service part of it. So I've been working on this since last fall, and we'll be continuing it over the summer. And after I graduate at the end of next year, Dr. Bates is continuing it for another 2 years. So it's going to be a really great opportunity.
Nice, nice, nice. Okay, yeah, so let's go to maybe some other questions that people might have. And let me stop sharing here. And yeah, so
I have one.
yeah, sure.
Is it possible to have a minor with a dual major? I think. Oh well, Jess is sociology. Yes, Dr. Figueroa, do you want to expand on that?
Oh yeah, so Jess, like you're saying, Jess has a minor in sociology. She's in the technology and education program, and yeah, you can have minors in different courses. So usually a minor takes 5 courses. So um, you can do that different ways. Maybe you take a summer class, or you can even overload a certain semester to get those 5 courses. We try to get computer science is becoming very popular. So lots of people are exploring um, that major. Okay. Jess, did you want to say something about your minor?
Well, I'm not a double major, but I didn't think it was very hard to fit those 5 courses in, especially if you kind of line them up with your liberal learning courses, because a lot of the minor courses do correspond to your liberal learning requirements.
Okay, great question. Guys, why don't you tell us a little bit about like student life? What is it like when you're not in class? I think that might be interesting to hear about.
Sure, I'll start off. So I mentioned before that I work in the campus recreation center. So I run like late night programs, and going off that, there's always something going on campus. Monday, Sunday, Wednesday night, 12 p.m. on a Thursday afternoon. There's always something going on. So if you're ever bored, just look at some campus social media accounts, look at flyers across campus. There'll be different events going on. You can grab some friends from your floor, friends from class, and the best part is if you've been to campus, we have this little thing called Campus Town. It's like I think 3 years old, and there's a bunch of like food places there, and you can if you're sick of dining hall food, you can go get some dinner or lunch in Campus Town.
The really cool thing with your freshman year is how tight your freshman floor gets. So there's a freshman course that you all take as a floor, and there's probably like 3 courses throughout your whole floor, so it's not like all of you are in one. So it's fun because it's a great way to like get to already know people, and like you're like, oh hey, let's walk to class together. And they have like different events like for your floor. It's called Welcome Week, and so it's a great time to like meet new people, and like always like, I don't know if they can say this true, but I always had my door open because people walking by, you just say, hey, like, you're all in this together. Like, no, like everyone, none of you have experienced your freshman year of college, like none of you. So you're all in it together and you're all like scared and just want to meet new people. So it's all about just putting yourself out there and getting involved.
Yeah, I can't encourage that enough in getting to know your freshman floor. Like those are some of my best friends to this day that I'm still friends with from my freshman floor. And like we still talk every day. And that's the reason because all of us on our floor, we got out and we're in the hallways talking. We're all getting to know each other that welcome week. And then throughout the year, we all got closer and closer and closer. And that then made friendships. And that's the biggest thing is putting yourself out there to meet new people, because if you're just going to sit in your room all day, you're not going to meet anyone. And then you're going to be like, well, I haven't really met anyone, because you need to put yourself out there.
We have a question. I think it was from Brooke. What type of technology and machinery does TCNJ have in the STEM building?
Okay, great question. So, I'm going to let Chris answer that, but before I do that, there is a new renovation to our building. Armstrong just went through a renovation, so we have a new makerspace lab. We have a new teaching facility. We have new equipment to make things, CNCs and 3D printers and different machines like that. The STEM building is actually just got built a couple years ago. I think it's now been 2 or 3 years. And that was a brand new building. Lots of computer labs in there, uh, spaces for projects. So you can have a big table where you can work with a group and work with other people. There's a big metal shop there. Um, well, Chris, I pick on Chris here because he's one of our student workers and he works in all these labs. So why don't you take the rest of that question?
So inside of the STEM building is the basis of the building really is behind the machine shop. And that's where we have a full-time machinist and he does all our metalworking stuff. Inside that room, we have CNC mills, lathes, different bridge ports. We have a 5-axis rotary machine. We also have a water jet machine, which actually cuts metal underneath water with sand. It's actually really cool to watch. There's a full-scale paint booth in there. So that's that side of the campus. And in the Armstrong side, we have a wood shop, which is, has table saw, chop saw, drill press, um, you name it, we probably have it somewhere. And then also with the new renovation, we got a makerspace inside of Armstrong. And inside of that, we have a laser cutter. We have 3D printers. What else do we have? We have different types of 3D printers. So we have, ones that do standard modeling. Then we have other ones that do different type of printing and stuff like that. I'm trying to think what else we have. We have different CNCs, like Dr. Figueroa said. So there's a lot of different spaces. And the cool thing is, as being a lab tech, I've actually taught myself a lot of more processes than like I wouldn't have learned if I wasn't. And the cool thing is I learned that from another lab tech who, my freshman year before I was a lab tech, I hung out with him and he taught me a lot of these things. So we all, learn from each other and we figure out how to, troubleshoot things, how to fix a printer, how to do this. So it's a lot of different machinery that we get to use.
Okay, good
Also,
answer.
don't if anyone's scared by these words, don't let them scare you, because I was scared my freshman year, and now I know how to use a 3D printer and a laser cutter. Water jet, not yet. I will get there. But like all these big terms, once you enter your first year, or like at least your second semester of your first year, you will understand. Oh, that's what this is. That's why I use this. That's what that is. Yeah.
And the other great thing is with the machine shop, that typically scares a lot of people. But since we do have a guy who's been there full time named Joe, you take your project to him. Oh, what do you need done? And you kind of walk over your project with him. You explain what you want done, and he'll say, I really don't think that's possible with the machinery we have, or it is possible. So it really, it's cool that we have an expert in machining that allows us to, bounce our ideas off of.
Yeah, and let me add to that. We are in the School of Engineering, so we have access to also electronic shops and other labs with soil and water, and well, we take our courses together. Our major takes courses in as a cohort and together. We don't take them with the other engineering majors. However, we're using some of the same spaces. So, you know, you will get to use you learn how to solder and use the um, different instruments to measure the voltage and the current. So, so I think I think that partnership is really good. Being in the School of Engineering allows us to also have access to even more great toys and equipment.
I think also there's another part of that question with like computers inside the STEM building. There's a full open computer lab when there isn't classes. Inside of Armstrong, in our 114 room, there's the back half of the classroom is all computers. Then there's an open lab that's open 24 hours that allows you to. It's a full engineering workstation. And then there's also another room that's used for classes, but when that's not being used, you can go in there as well.
Okay, great, great. Oh, let me ask you guys this. I've gotten this question in the past. Does it matter what type of laptop you get to come to our major?
I would say no. I think everybody, the other three people here all have Macs. I have a Lenovo, and I think they work about the same. A lot of the programs that we've been using lately have been web-based programs that save to a cloud. So I don't think you need a specific laptop for it. If anyone else has any other
And
opinion.
even, you know, let's say there's a program you need that you can't put on your laptop. For example, I can't, since I have a Mac, I can't put Autodesk onto my laptop, but all the computers in Armstrong have it. So if I need to do a project, I'll just sit there and do it. And the amount of times that really happens is none because we do use a lot of the cloud-based programs.
Good, 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 great. Let's see, any other questions? I think there's how about you guys? Any parting words? I don't want anybody to leave yet because I'm going to show you some email addresses that you might need and follow us on social media. But do you guys have any other advice that you'd like to give students, incoming freshmen?
Yeah, Jen,
Go
go
ahead.
first.
No, you go. You go. I'll go next.
Okay. I was just gonna say, if you have, any questions, we're all students, so we've been through freshman and sophomore year. Jen and I have been in the ed building a lot, so we've taken a bunch of education courses there. And any other questions about, what it's like to be a TCNG student, we'll be more than happy to answer them. We're not just iSTEM and tech ed majors. But yeah, that's all I gotta say.
I was gonna say, don't be scared about don't be scared of upperclassmen, because in your major or wherever school you go to, making friends with those upperclassmen will help you so much, whether it's recommending what class you should take, borrowing a textbook, helping you, maybe they did an assignment and you're like, I'm really struggling with this, can we talk about how to get through this? And everyone, at least at TCNJ, is willing to help you no matter what. And especially getting involved if you do end up at TCNJ with this STEM or tech ed major, getting involved in the STEM Educator Society, because that is where you'll meet these upperclassmen that are very involved and love to help and just want to be there for you. I know Chris, he was saying yesterday how he was in a class as a sophomore with a bunch of seniors. I myself was a freshman with a bunch of juniors in a class. So I understand upperclassmen can be intimidating. Maybe in high school, they were scary as a freshman and to the seniors, but with the tech ed and STEM, we are a family and we don't think oh, freshmen, so that whole stigma is thrown out the window and we're all friends. We're all there to help. I know I'm in a stat class right now and I'm texting freshmen, help me, so we're all there for each other.
I think the other thing too I want to add is, sometimes some of us do struggle in a class or whatnot. And I just want to highlight that there is a great tutoring center on campus, and that's free of charge to a TCNJ student. And you go at the beginning of the semester, you sign up for a time slot with a student tutor, And that's, you know, a great way to get through a class or get through a tough, you know, couple weeks of a unit or something. So that's always a free available resource that I feel like sometimes a lot of us forget about. And I definitely have used it. I don't know if anyone else has used it, but it's a great resource.
Yep.
Also, can I add, there's plenty of job opportunities on campus. So if you still want to make money or need to make money, there's so many opportunities for you to do that. I know Isha like works for the rec center. Chris works for the lab. I babysit. So there's so many opportunities for you to make money.
Okay. Good, good, great. So let me share my screen again. I want to just show you some important things to not forget. Um, so if you have any other questions that maybe we didn't get to, you know, admissions is a great place where you can get answers to some of your questions, whether it's about the whole process or financial aid or housing, any of those questions you can direct there. If you have more questions about the program, feel free to email me. My email is just my name, so manuel.figueroa. And then if you want to just kind of know what it's like to be a student, I think you can follow us on social media.
Yes, I have 1 follower. Yay! I'm in charge of the social media, so I'm so excited. Thank you, Lauren. Not to embarrass you, but thank you.
Jess, why don't you tell us a little more about what you try to do with our social media?
Yeah. So I have access to the Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. The Instagram is more like towards us kids. And you can like follow it to see what we do on an everyday basis. Like maybe if there's projects or something we're getting involved in. Also job opportunities for when you are a student here and a junior or a senior. And the group that you'd be like joined into on Facebook is full of like professors and alumni. So that's a great opportunity to get ideas. I know I was just on that Facebook page yesterday getting ideas for my future classroom. So it's just a great way to connect with students. And yes, thank you. I just got another follower, so this is exciting.
I also want to highlight how how in demand us as the field is. And, you know, Jen, you have a job already. People are hunting us down. And so the worry of having a job after the 4 years is not at all. Like me and Jess can tell you, we went to a professional conference our freshman fall, and we were stormed by 3 administrators. And they were like, when can you start? We're like, 4 years from now. But I cannot stress enough how in demand we are. And I think the last time they checked, for every graduate of the program, there was 4 jobs you could choose from. So we are really in demand.
Yeah, I know myself. I had 2 job offers, and I keep getting phone calls from other schools. Can we interview you? And I'm like, sorry, I'm taken. So there's definitely opportunities out there for you guys.
Yeah, I think especially now, the technology and engineering field, they're hiring at schools everywhere. And also there's a lot of schools that are trying to turn some of their classes into STEM classrooms to do more STEM activities. So um, some of our graduates not only get the job offer, but they also get some money on the side to kind of like design their own STEM classroom or bring in new curriculum. So that's really exciting for the students, you know. Um, so yeah, so we have there our Instagram, our Twitter, and our Facebook, and you know, follow us um, and
Also, if
email
you see us
us.
next year, please don't hesitate to say hi. We're very friendly people. If you see us on campus, be like, hey, you were on that Zoom call. We'll be like, hey, you were too.
You.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for coming. I'll stick around for a couple more minutes if anybody wants to stay on and ask questions, but that is the end of our webinar. So we hope to see you in the fall, and have a good summer and stay safe out there. Have a good night.
Hi, guys. Nice meeting all of you.
Nice meeting you guys.